Hi, so we've spent the last couple videos looking into how food gets from the farm to the farmer's market and what's involved in that and what our community does. But I want us to go back and think more critically or deeply about how we as individuals are involved in the food system or what our role might be. Not everyone is a farmer, although it's an excellent career choice. You might be an eater, or someone who helps get food to communities, or something that you don't even know yet. So we're going to do an activity together to start to understand how we as individuals are involved in the food system. So you're going to need something to write with and something to write on. And while you're grabbing that, start to think about a food that you ate recently that you really enjoyed. Maybe you had a really delicious breakfast, or you just really like hamburgers. I'm actually just going to pick hamburgers because I really love hamburgers. So we're going to do an activity called the story of food. And we're going to start with a hamburger. And I can tell you right now that I'm not really an artist, but I'm going to do my best. Here's my burger buns. And here's my hamburger patty. And I have some lettuce on there. Brought a couple little markers, and I got a couple tomatoes on there, and I guess I'm gonna keep it simple. It's gonna be hamburger, pickles, yes. Same color as the lettuce, and they're sort of falling out, but we know what they are. Okay, so let's start to think. We're gonna do this activity together, and then you can do it on your own. So with my example of hamburgers, what is the story of food for the hamburger? Let's start with, we might not get to the whole thing for this short video, but let's start with a couple of the more interesting ones. For example, the hamburger, the actual hamburger. Where does the actual hamburger come from? So the actual hamburger starts, we cooked it on the grill, but started off as just like a beef patty, right? And that beef patty I bought at Fred Meyer. How you spell that? Meyer. Oh gosh, there we go. Maybe. Culture of error spelling here. So I got it at Fred Meyer, but I forgot a step, right? Because how did I get from the Fred Meyer to the hamburger in my home? Oh, there was a little car involved. Here's my little car. Beep, beep. So I have the car, the beef patty, I have the car of the Fred Meyer, and then there's probably folks like stocking things up at Fred Meyer. So there's some people involved at the Fred Meyer, which is a giant building. And then before that, there was probably another car, or in this case, a delivery truck, which looks remarkably similar to my car, but who knows, they could be using a Subaru. To get from, where does the burger come from? Where was it processed? Well, it's probably processed in a big old facility, a big old meat packing warehouse, we're gonna say. And in this particular one, that's also where they slaughtered the cows. That's not always normal, but that's what happened here. And from there, it came from a cow, right? But where does the cow come from? Oh, from the farm. So here's our farm. Here's a farm in Montana that grows cows. So here's the, how am I gonna represent a farm here? I guess with trees. Maybe this particular farm has lots of trees, and then there's cows. Yep, there we go, a nice Holstein cow. But how does it get from there to there? Oh, another vehicle, right? And here we are at the farm, there's the cow. So to get my hamburger, it took all of these steps to get there. So normally we would do this with every single one. I don't know that we 100% have time, but let's do an interesting one. How about those pickles? So those pickles that I started with, did they come right from the farm? Maybe not, but actually these pickles, I really, really love the ones that are from the 21 Acres Market. So these ones came right from 21 Acres, which meant I could walk there, so I didn't have to include this car, because I'm really lucky that I work on the farm. So here's the 21 Acres Farm Market. There's Caroline waving to us. And these came from a local farm, but there's still a car involved to get to it. Beep, beep, beep. And they came, how are pickles made? Did they just grow in the ground? No, they involve some fermenting processes. So These ones do, at least. So they came from someone who put them in a jar. Here are the pickles in a jar. And that sort of happened at, we buy local, so this happened at a commercial kitchen in the state of Washington. And from there was a car that took the pickles from the farm, and here they are out on the farm growing their little vines, growing their pickles. Here's the cucumber vines growing their pickles. So we can see the different ways that food gets to us on our plate. So I want you to go ahead and do this with something that you ate recently. Maybe you ate toast for breakfast. Maybe you had a snack of popcorn. Maybe you really like chicken fingers. So go ahead and try to figure out, not like we did, but with every single piece of that food item, how did it get from the farm to you? And something like bread, did bread grow in the ground? No, but wheat did. And that's what we make bread out of mostly, unless it's gluten-free bread, in which case it might be a little trickier, but I think you can still do it. And then once you've got all that, I'd love for you to look and see, how are these systems looking different? How does it look to go from a local farm where there's just 1, 2, 3 steps with a couple cars in between to this guy with a few more steps, right? The Fred Meyers. So explore more, explore the story of your food.